This book tells me that if you're alive when Jesus comes in the clouds, you don't know Jesus, you're going to be left behind. This book tells me if you're an unbeliever, you're going to go through the 7-year tribulation. I sure don't want that to happen to you. That is horrific. This book tells me if you don't know Jesus, in Revelation 20, you're going to stand before the great white throne judge. This book tells me that if your name's not written in the Lamb's book of life, you're going to be cast into a place called hell. That's spelled H-E-L-L. The Bible talks about it a lot. Oh, we don't like to. And actually, it's very unpopular. And I'll guarantee you something. If you're willing to get up and say there is no hell, you could become the most popular preacher in America. But I'm afraid I can't do that, because this book is full of it, from cover to cover. But then the book of Revelation profiles believers. I'm one of those. Just by the grace of God, I don't deserve that, but I'm a Christian man, giving my heart to Jesus. The Bible says if I were to die today, I'd be carried by the angels up into heaven. The Bible says if I'm alive when Jesus comes in the clouds, boom, just like that, I'm going to be snatched out, taken up to join all those who are already in heaven, together with so many of you, thousands, millions of people. Means that I'm going to be in heaven during the 7-year tribulation, and it means in chapter 19, verse 11, I'm part of that army. When Jesus comes back to this earth, I'm there. When he marches across to the battlefield of Armageddon, I'm in the rear guard, and I don't even need a gun in my hand, because not one shot's going to be fired. The Bible also tells me I'm going to reign with him for 1,000 years, and the Bible also says to me that I'm not going to be part of the great white throne judgment. And the Bible also says to me that because I'm a believer, I've been profiled, I'm going to live with him forever. Yep, the end of the story, book of Revelation. Presents a series of events, outlines a timeline, gives a profile. Oh, look, by the way, there are a lot of other profiles. Tells us about all the people in heaven, people like the elders, the living creatures. Oh, did I mention the angels? They're all over the place. Angels. But you know, the book of Revelation also describes both heaven and hell. Both heaven and hell. It's an amazing thing. I wish I had time today to go to chapter after chapter and word after word. Chapter 4, I read to you just a little sneak preview. When John arrives up in heaven, he describes a little bit of heaven. But right from that point on, we're given snippets of heaven. And one snippet, one picture after another, another picture after another. And we get all the way to chapter 21 and chapter 22. And boom, here we come. I mean, heaven, what an incredible place. Guess where it is? Right here. Because this earth is going back to the Garden of Eden. But it also gives us an horrific picture of hell. You know, I wish I could circumvent the end and the description of hell. But for example, if you go to chapter 16, I'm just giving you one verse. Chapter 16, verse 8. Remember the 3 judgments? The seal judgments, followed by the trumpet judgments, followed by the bowl judgments. And they increase in severity. When you go 1 bowl judgment, 2 bowl judgments, 3 bowl judgments, 4 bowl judgments, 5 bowl judgments, 6 bowl judgments, 7 bowl judgments, here comes Jesus again. Those judgments give one unbelievable picture of hell. Chapter 16, verse 8, the 4th angel poured out his bowl on the sun, and it was allowed to scorch people with fire. They were scorched by fierce heat. They cursed the name of God, who had power over these plagues, but they did not repent and give him glory. The 5th angel poured out his bowl on the throne of the beast, and its kingdom was plunged into darkness, and people gnawed their tongues in anguish and cursed the God of heaven for their pain and sores, but they did not repent. Tell you, I sure don't like talking about that. But excuse me, how can anybody say there's no hell? How can you say that when it's written? What you're saying is you don't believe what God says. I can't avoid that. But it's not what I dwell on, because what I want to dwell on is the 5th summary of the book of Revelation. Here it is. The end of the story issues a clear invitation. I love this part. So I want you to just look with me, go all the way to the very last book of the book of Revelation. We'll close with this, chapter 22, and I only want you to look at verse 17. Now you must see this. Your life may depend on this. You must see this. This is incredible. Revelation chapter 22 and verse 7. The Spirit and the bride say, "Come." And let the one who hears say, "Come." And let the one who is thirsty come. Let the one who desires to take the water of life without price come. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not die, should not perish, but will have everlasting life. Watch this. Listen to this. Get this. For God did not send his Son into this world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might believe and might be saved. Come. That's the book of Revelation.